That's exactly it. It feels like a glitch in the matrix, like it isn't supposed to be happening.
However, it is. And I bet more people than we think are in that uncomfortable middle, trying to start over.
The previous weekend, I had received one of the most thoughtful gifts I've ever gotten. Of course, I had to call my friend Amalia right away to let her know how grateful I felt. And then we decided to catch up Friday night, which we both agreed was long overdue. Amalia had already heard about my latest life crisis, but that was purely by chance, because we bumped into each other in the supermarket, and of course, I spilled my entire drama right there between the milk and the cereal. It had been ages since we last saw each other, 'cause life gets in the way, you know. But I like talking with her. She's been through her share of struggles too. The difference is, she looks at the world with spiritual eyes and is so strong. Sometimes I think of her as my soul sister. Anyway, hot chocolate and marshmallows by her fire pit seemed like the perfect antidote to my latest existential crisis.
Some things never change.
I never knew how to drink quietly. But seriously, Amalia, something's gotta change. I need to change, but I have no idea where to start. I just feel that my life has no direction. I can't see a future, let alone a clear path to it. And honestly, it's kind of embarrassing. Shouldn't I have it all figured out by now? I mean, I'm not that young anymore. I'm supposed to have clear life goals, right?
Life goals. I don't think it is as simple as self-improvement books make it out to be. And now that I think of it, almost every book that I read says that you always need to start with a clear sense of direction, as if you can't do anything without that magic roadmap.
But goals are important. That's why I feel such a tragedy when you don't have any.
And of course, they are important. I write mine down, color code them, and the whole 9 yards. But
what?
But there are exceptions to the rule. Like when you find yourself starting in the middle. And by middle, I mean you were halfway into a journey and all of a sudden you come across an unexpected twist. You didn't ask for it, but here you are, lost in uncharted territory. And you are then forced to start again, this time without a map.
That's exactly it. It feels like a glitch in the matrix, like it isn't supposed to be happening.
However, it is. And I bet more people than we think are in that uncomfortable middle, trying to start over.
Even if it's common, it doesn't change the fact that I have no idea which direction to head in.
Funny you should say that. This week, my book club was all about that very topic.
Oh wait, your book club? A book about goals?
Well, kind of. Let me get my notes and I'll show you. It's somewhere here.
Wow, that's a lot of notes. Do they quiz you at the book club?
No, I just like taking notes while I read. It helps me think and it helps me remember what I read. Here it is. This was actually one of my favorite quotes. Goals are good, but keep your eyes open for opportunity.
That's the issue. I don't see any opportunities. As you get older, things just get harder and harder. Sorry, it is this darkness again.
No need to apologize. It's what you're feeling and I get it. But you know what? That darkness that you are describing, maybe it is worth looking at it a little bit more closely.
What do you mean?
Well, the book I got the quote from, which is actually a book about learning things later in life, says that a lot of our struggles come from this weird societal expectation that once you hit a certain age, you're supposed to be this perfectly competent, well-rounded person. When the truth is, most of us are just trying to figure it out. But that belief is enough to make us avoid new things. And the second we don't have all the answers, we turn around and go back to what we know. And then we simply stop trying.
Yeah, I can relate to that. But how do you get out of that loop?
Well, in a way, that's what the book is all about. It takes a change of mindset, which in essence will be like having the attitude of a good beginner. I think the book calls it the beginner's mindset.
And what is a good beginner?
Being a good beginner is embracing the awkwardness that comes with not being fully competent when we are facing a new challenge, and being kind to ourselves even and especially when we stuff up.
And do you really believe that?
Oh, I feel very strongly about it. I know it sounds a bit too nice to be true, but even from a practical point of view, I'm convinced this is the only attitude that can help us go the distance. And the best example, according to the book, are kids learning to walk. Because if you think about it, you can't get any more awkward than that. They are very uncoordinated, they don't have the strength, their heads are too big, their legs are too little, and they keep falling over all the time. However, they find a way to keep moving.
Well, it's like, it sounds nice, but I'm not sure I believe it. It's not like you can snap your fingers and feel comfortable being uncomfortable. I can't just forgive myself for my mistakes because it takes me a long time to bounce back every time I make one. And I'm sick of always being a beginner, and I hate myself and I hate my life. It's too late for me anyway, so what's the point? I think I should go home right now.
Oh, Luna. You know what? There is something it's never late for. Another cup of delicious hot chocolate. Shall I refill your cup before you head off?
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Sorry about before. I think I'm a bit on edge.
Don't worry. Let's enjoy this chocolate now. I bought it especially for the occasion, you know. Do you like it?
I love it. Where did you get it from?
It's Belgian chocolate from the chocolate mill shop.
Tell me something. What else did the book say about those expert beginners then?
Well, it actually makes another interesting point about goals. This is the thing. Someone apparently studied these children, like in a scientific study, and used some kind of very clever eye-tracking software to find out what was catching their eye as they attempted to take their first steps. And they realized that when children are learning to walk, they rarely look towards a goal. It's not that they want to walk prompted by the sight of an interesting object that they want to pursue, because they actually move the same, regardless of whether they are in a room full of colorful toys or they are in an empty room with nothing around them.
So, if they don't need a goal to move around, what prompts them to walk?
Well, it is something that they carry within them. I think I took some notes about this too. Let's see. Here it is. They don't seem to walk towards an obvious destination, but instead they are moved by an internal drive, and they welcome the unexpected and the interesting.
An internal drive? You mean like an instinct?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. An instinct. Or an intuition. It's like if they were guided to do that which they are meant to be doing, even though they keep failing on a regular basis.
Wow!
The point I took from this is that if I find myself not knowing which direction to take, I try to tune into that inner guide. Sometimes it is just a very subtle whisper, so I know that I have to really pay attention.
That's so nice, but I'm not like you. I don't have that intuition. That's why I need a goal.
Luna, are you sure you don't have it?
Positive.
But if not that intuition, then what is driving your desperate search for answers?
What a wonderful evening we had. Deep and cryptic as always with Amalia, but so interesting. As I drove back home, I was recalling pieces of our conversation early and thinking that perhaps I should get that book that she talked about. Lucky I had written the name on a piece of paper. Beginners by Tom Vanderbilt. And I was also pondering if I will accept Amalia's suggestion to join her book club. She told me that it was a lot of fun and that they got together once a month and they only read self-help books. But well, reading a book was one thing. Taking part in a random book club full of strangers, that was a totally different kettle of fish. I wonder what an expert beginner will do in this case. And only because I was in such a good mood, it didn't bother me so much that when I got home, I found that just as last week, one of the pot plants on the windowsill had fallen. My little geranium was scattered all over the floor, and the new pot crushed to pieces. This time, I was sure it hadn't been the wind. Very soon, the solution to this mystery will be revealed.